Hello, everybody, and welcome to what is... I'm probably setting the pace that this is just going to be a constant thing, even though I don't know that I got into content creation to be this reactionary. But we are going to be talking about the first look at the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. I appreciate this over trying to figure out how to get a pack and review it in no time flat. I can just do this from the comfort of my own home, but this just came out. It is 9:57. I actually thought I was going to have another 3 or 4 minutes. I was just refreshing the page and saw this, but I kind of assumed this was going to happen because the announcement of Magneto was the week after the release of Jubilee. Here we are, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm excited for this because I think there's a lot of ground to be had with S.H.I.E.L.D. And so let's just dive right into it. Right off the bat, we got the box, which has MODOK on it and some AIM soldiers. And this might be... oh, you can't see my... Oh, you can. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if my arrow was on there. This might just be referencing these two. Not certain. It's got a hat. Never mind. I don't know. This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm taking this all in as we go here. But we'll read right through the article. I do apologize. When I'm reading my own writing, I'm fine. Card text, as you may notice from videos I've done, sometimes I stumble over it, so I'm going to try to be as proficient of a reader as possible here and try to keep this concise so that I can get this out and not have to edit a bunch. Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. Some can fly, some can shoot energy with their hands, and some are just really, really strong. But there are some heroes that don't wear capes. Heroes who stay out of the spotlight, working tirelessly behind the scenes to keep the world safe from covert threats. These are the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fantasy Flight is proud to announce Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the eighth campaign expansion for Marvel Champions, the card game. This campaign... let's just do this real quick. There we go. I'm sorry. I just completely failing in my ability to do things today. Let me just correct this real quick. Doing this live. Okay. Lock that back in. Okay. This campaign takes us away from the flashy battles of the Avengers level threats and instead focuses on the efforts of S.H.I.E.L.D. as they combat the forces trying to manipulate the world from the shadows, including a traitor from their own agency. Oh, okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes with 5 brand new scenarios, just like with all other campaign expansions. You can play with each of these scenarios individually or sequentially as part of a larger campaign. This box also kicks off a new wave of playable heroes, including Maria Hill and Nick Fury, both of whom are fully built out and ready to play decks from the get-go. Oh, okay. Today we will be providing a first look at the scenario content in this expansion. We'll go over the heroes in the near future. So we'll go over the heroes in the future. Okay, well, there you go. Without any further ado, here is a look at the story of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we've got Black Widow, we've got something, acrobatics, Batroc. Oh my gosh, okay. And he is a villain. And MODOK. I don't recognize this character. And then Thunderbolt. Ooh, Thunderbolts. Cool. That's well-timed, Fantasy Flight. Okay, yeah, this is Yelena. A plot unfolds. The story of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. begins with a mystery. A string of inhuman kidnappings have been plaguing the country, and Sarah Garza, I guess she's an ally, a S.H.I.E.L.D. specialist, is the latest victim. The dastardly super soldiers of AIM are behind the kidnappings, but Maria Hill suspects a rat in the S.H.I.E.L.D. executive board may be involved as well. With all that in mind, you and your fellow heroes head to subway tunnel to a subway tunnel or to the subway tunnel to confront the first obstacle of solving this crisis, Yelena Belova, also known as the Black Widow. Okay, she is a villain with 2 scheme, 1 attack. She's a spy trait. Forced to interrupt when a character you control attacks Black Widow. Remove 1 threat from the main scheme, ignoring any crisis icons in play. Well, that's nice. Discard the top card of the encounter deck and resolve each preparation ability on that card. Cool. So it is going to be an evil Black Widow. You are getting preparations played against you. A skilled spy and lethal assassin, Belova wields an array of gadgets and techniques. As a skilled spy and lethal assassin, Belova wields a similar array of gadgets and techniques to the heroic Black Widow. Whenever someone attacks Belova, a threat is removed from the main scheme, which seems like a good thing, except for it can trigger one of her Black Widow traps. Each attachment, minion, and treachery in her signature encounter set is a preparation effect that can trigger her Black Widow's ability, meaning that attacking her also means attacking her while there's a threat in the main scheme comes with a serious risk. At best, a aim grunt. Oh, okay. 1/1/5 health aim guard. Preparation. Each minion in play engages with you. Put this minion into play, engage with you, then resolve this attack against. Oh, okay. So when you go to attack her, you put the aim grunt into play, and then you end up attacking it instead. Cool. At best, an aim grunt might just dive in the way and take the hit instead, while at worst, you might find yourself entangled with a stun net. So an attachment attached to your entity. Attached character cannot attack, exhaust a character you control, discard this card. Any player may trigger this ability. Preparation. After this attack, attach this card to the attacking character. This is brutal. Unfortunately, Black Widow's ability only triggers. Fortunately, Black Widow's ability only triggers when there is threat for her to remove, which means if you keep the main scheme clear, you should be able to focus your attacks on her and bring the super spy down. Next up, we've got Batroc, a 1 scheme, 2 attack, Batroc's Parade, Mercenary. Oh, AB, okay. Forced response. After Batroc attacks, place 1 threat on alert level. Okay, so that must be a scheme. When Batroc would be defeated, reset his health points to 8 instead, then remove 6 threat from the main scheme. Interesting. Okay, so he just keeps going. While taking down Black Widow, your investigation next leads to the AIM Island Emissary, where you'll have to sneak in and get the intel you need without raising the alarm too high. Standing in your way is the mercenary Batroc. I suppose he isn't Batroc the Leaper. Probably people would confuse that as Batroc the Leper, which is not the same. But unlike most scenarios, simply defeating him will not be enough to achieve your goals. After all, you're here to rescue people, and the scenario mechanics reflect that. Batroc's hit points don't scale to the player count, but defeating him will simply reset him back to his maximum, although you do get some free threat removal as a reward. Since Batroc keeps getting back up every time you knock him down, your goal instead is to clear enough threat off the main scheme, which I'm guessing is... okay, yep. Infiltrate, aim, emissary, you sneak. Okay. Let's read the actual text, not only to worry about the flavor text. When the last threat is removed from this scheme advanced to 2A, the players win by advancing. Okay, when this stage is defeated, this is the game. Okay. You're instead to clear the main scheme to advance to the next stage. Do that enough times and you rescue enough captives. Okay, well, I guess I like the captives being just random people and not heroes. Okay, but let's read this real quick. So we got a 1/1/5 civilian victory -1. Does not count towards your allied limit. Card abilities cannot remove this ally from play. Exhaust rescue captive. Remove 1 threat per player. Remove 1 per player threat from the main scheme. Okay. And you'll win. So this starts at, so this maxes out at 12. It starts at 6 per player. Wow. Yes. Okay. I overlooked that. As you search the emissary, as you search the embassy for captives to free, you'll contend with the facility's alert level. Okay, an environment is low. If there are 4 threat per player here, remove all threat from here and flip this card over. When a character is defeated, except for by consequential damage, place 1 threat here. Spend 1 resource of any type, remove 1 threat. Okay, I'm guessing the next threat's going to be the other side. This starts off on low. but every time a character is defeated, including enemies, a bit of threat gets added and increasing the pressure and shortening your timeline. Not to mention, all those people you're rescuing are bound to get the attention of the embassy security. Naturally, certain cards like embassy embassy guard, a 1 scheme, 2 attack, 3 health aim minion. Guard vulnerable. Discard this card if it is stunned or confused. I like that. If alert level is on the high side, this card gains surge. When defeated, place 1 threat on alert level. Okay, so you actually want to confuse you want to stun or confuse them, because then they don't get defeated. Okay. Oh boy, there's so much here. Naturally, cards like Embassy Guard gain additional abilities if the alert level is high, which means that you are incentivized to move through the place as quietly as possible. Thankfully, some of the minions in the scenario have the new vulnerable keyword, which means that they get discarded when they're stunned or confused. Discarded is not the same as defeated, which means no threat gets added to the alert level. You'll have to use your skills and wits to cover your tracks and make it through this tricky situation. Next up, we've got MODOK, who good, he's got Retaliate. So he has a 2 scheme, 1 attack, aerial, cyborg, psionic, Retaliate 1, Force Interrupt when MODOK, did I say MADOK before? When MODOK would be defeated, if a holding cell is in play, remove 2 lock counters from it and reset MODOK's hit points to 10 instead. Otherwise, players win the game. So when MODOK would be defeated, if holding cell is in play, remove 2 lock counters from it and reset him to 10 hit points. Otherwise, you win. Okay, so you gotta get locks off of something. As you move through the AIM base, your next destination is AIM Island itself, stronghold of the AIM organization. You fully managed to find the missing Sarah Garza, along with some inhuman captives who've been locked away. Unfortunately, you run into MODOK, who is none too pleased about you disrupting his plans to use the Inhumans as genetic templates for his synthetic adaptoids. Similar to the previous scenario, your primary goal is to rescue here, although it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be very different. You'll need to free Garza and the other captive Inhumans. So we are going to do human stuff. That's interesting. So we've got a null flying Inhuman, 2 thwart, 1 attack, 5 health, aerial Inhuman rescued. Does not count towards the allied limit. Response after this ally thwarts, remove 1 threat from another scheme. That's nice. Force response after this card leaves play, flip it over and place it at the bottom of the holding cell deck. This seems like it's going to have a lot of moving pieces. And other Inhumans along with the holding cells. Okay, so an environment, place 1 lock counter per 2 lock counter per player is here. When the last lock counter is removed, flip this card and put Sarah Garza into play under any player's control. A hero action, spend a wild resource or 3 resources of any type. Remove 1 lock counter from here. Okay, this is there's a lot going on here. Okay, so you need to get rid of the holding cell before you can take out MODOK. Of course, you'll have to contend with the adaptoids. I wonder if we're going to get super adaptoid at some point. I haven't thought about that. So minion 1/1 5 adaptoid. Check adaptoid environments for modifiers of these values. Okay. When defeated, place 1 all-purpose counter remove 1 all-purpose counter from an environment. Boost. After this activation, shuffle adaptoid into the encounter deck. You'll have to contend with the adaptoids themselves as you do, and if you let them get too many upgrades, such as flying upgrade. Okay, so that makes sense. We saw the flying Inhuman. This is another. Each adaptoid gets +1 scheme. Each gets insight 1 and gains the aerial trait. Whew. They fly now. Okay, so that's just a Star Wars reference. I don't know if I would make that reference. I feel like calling attention to to the Star Wars sequel trilogy is kind of I don't know. I don't care. Other people might think that's a little too on the nose. They'll become unstoppable and you'll lose the scenario, not to mention all the upgrades that MODOK can get himself, but we'll show those off at some other time. Ooh. Oh, we get the original Thunderbolts. That's so great. Okay, cool. Oh, that's awesome. I said we might get the contemporary ones somewhere earlier. Okay, a Thundering Conspiracy. We are one step closer to Count Nefaria. A Thundering Conspiracy. After freeing the inhuman captives, you'll return to DC for some well-deserved rest. Unfortunately, the mole in the executive board has made its move, marking you as rogue agents. Now you must fight off a group of superpowered foes sent to arrest you, the Thunderbolts, led by Citizen V. Oh, Citizen V, villain. Scheme 2, attack 2, Thunderbolt traded. Citizen V cannot be defeated unless there is at least one Thunderbolt minion per player in the victory display. Forced interrupt. When Citizen V would activate against you during step 2 of the villain phase, if you are engaged with a Thunderbolt minion, Citizen V does not activate and heals 4 instead, with 12 health per minion, or 12 health per player, and A/B sides. So these are all minions. Okay, with a lot of health. Okay, villainous victory 1 each. Okay, well, we'll get into that. While not technically a multi-villain scenario, the Thunderbolts absolutely take you on as a team. During setup, you choose a number of Thunderbolt-themed modular encounter sets equal to the number of players plus 1, and each of those encounter sets comes with an elite Thunderbolt minion that you'll have to contend with before you can take out Citizen V himself. Not only does the main scheme apprehending rogue agents, a main scheme with that tops out at 11 per player. Each Thunderbolt minion gains guard. After a player attacks a Thunderbolt minion, that minion engages that player. If this completes, the players lose the game. Okay. Not only does the main scheme give each Thunderbolt minion guard, but Citizen V himself cannot be defeated until you've had enough cronies in the victory display. The rest, how many was it again? So I can mentally. Okay, so it's 1 per player. Okay. The rest of the Thunderbolts may technically be minions, but they hit hard. That's true. They look like they hit hard. Songbird probably has there's a catch there. They hit hard. They're sturdy enough to be practically fully fledged villains in their own right. Each of them has the villainous keyword as well as hit points in the double digits, and the Thunderbolts backup. A environment, minions attached here in play and cannot be targeted by attacks and ability. Wait. The minion attached here is in play and can be targeted by it. When the round ends, attach the Thunderbolt minion with the most damage here, swapping it with the minion already attached here, if any. Heal 1 per player damage from the attached minion, and expert heal an additional. Wow, that is. This is going to be a scenario you might want to just rush through. This sounds like it's going to be hard. Environment lets them rotate out to patch themselves up and keep the fight going. You know what? That's fair. Heroes get to heal. Why don't the villains get to heal on a more regular basis? The Thunderbolt scenario is a great turning point in the narrative of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign, but it also is one of the most repeatable scenarios in the game. Yeah, I would say so. The box comes with 6 different modular sets featuring Thunderbolts you can use for this scenario, as well as other scenarios. They are still modular encounter sets after all. Yeah, we're going to be doing some fun with branch timelines, but future Marvel Champions products may come with more sets that can be slotted in. Any modular encounter set that features an elite Thunderbolt minion qualifies for the scenario, allowing all sorts of customization and ensuring that no 2 face-offs against this team are alike. I like that as a recurring theme. So as we go through the wave, we're going to see more elite Thunderbolts. That's cool. Kudos to them. But now you're wondering who the villain in the 5th and final scenario. Okay, so wait, we got Black Widow, Batroc, MODOK, and the Thunderbolts. Yeah, who is the villain in the 5th and final scenario? I thought we were only up to 4, or this was going to be talking about the 4th. I'm mentally not here. Unfortunately, that information has been redacted. You'll have to wait and see who it is. Exposing the mole. While we can't share the final villain, we can share the important elements of the campaign. Finding the traitor. Okay, I'm all for this. This would have been great if it tied into a Secret Invasion thing. I know Secret Invasion didn't go over great in the MCU, but the comics were fun. I'm sorry, I don't know if I care about this. But we'll still go through it. As you mentioned, there's a mole in the executive board, and your job is to expose them. To do that, you'll need to utilize evidence cards that you'll collect over the course of the campaign, which represents the means, motive, and opportunity. So you're playing Clue. Essentially, at the beginning of the campaign, one card from each campaign is secretly tucked in the envelope, and the combination of symbols these cards will reveal the identity of the traitor. You'll have to use your powers and deduction to expose the mole when the time is right, but you might tread carefully. If you alienate the board before you have the chance to present your case, you'll only make life harder. So I'll just leave this here for a second for you guys. This is a lot of stuff to read. Each member of the executive board is represented by their own double-sided card, which is always present during the campaign, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. campaign. Certain scenario and campaign effects add secret counters to a board member, representing the subtle manipulations of both AIM and the traitor as they try to turn the board against you. If too many secret counters accumulate on the board member, they'll flip the card over to their attachment side, on which they'll become a permanent buff to the villain. For example, Chief Executive Officer. Okay, so then she flips over, attached to villain, permanent, +1 attack. After a secret counter is placed here, deal 2 damage to a friendly character. If there are 3 board members attached in play, the player... Ooh, okay, so you can't let that slip too much. For example, gain 4 counters, 3 an expert, and they'll become an attachment. This increases the attack and deals damage if 3 more against you. Oh, if all 3, okay, so there's only 3 board members, if all 3 are against you, you instantly lose the game. That's against them. Okay. So we gotta look at Maria Hill and Nick Fury. And then ooh, okay. So, oh boy, this is my chance to be super, super wrong. I'm sorry, I'm just skipping over all this. As mentioned earlier, today's preview is focusing on the scenarios of the content. In the coming weeks, we'll preview the 2 heroes, Maria Hill and Nick Fury. Maria Hill comes with a pre-built leadership deck, and her playstyle revolves around her unique position as the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Meanwhile, Nick Fury masters a mitigating threat is packed in a pre-built Justice deck, along with a specialized stealth suit that lets him pull off some impressive stunts. While neither of these heroes possess any flashy superpowers, that certainly does not make them any less potent as protectors of Earth. Of course, with every Marvel Champions expansion, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. heralds the beginning of a new wave of hero packs. This wave of 4 hero packs features a mix of S.H.I.E.L.D. members and a couple surprises. As always, we'll reveal each in time, but for now, here's a sneak preview. Okay, so I think this is Echo. This might be like a Sharon Carter. She's sort of like, looks like she's sort of in an investigating pose, and got like a trench coat on. This could also be, the problem is, this is going to be their civilian clothes. So like this could also be like a Spider Woman, Spider Girl. Spider Girl, I think, is the character. Carpenter. That might be too on the nose for the player base, only because we've already got a Spider Woman. This is probably what's his name? Luke Cage. So I suppose, okay, Luke Cage. This could be his wife, who I'm completely blanking on. It was the show with Tennant. Oh God, I can't remember what her name is. I'm sorry. She's in the game. What's her name? Sorry for doing this probably the most roundabout way possible. Jessica Jones. That could be Jessica Jones. That makes a certain amount of sense. So Echo, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and my immediate thought was Gwen, Ghost Spider. Obviously, Ghost Spider's already in the game, so this could also be a Spider character. Because I mean, this could be the Carpenter character. That's my guess. Actually, I really like that. Echo, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and possibly, oh, she's got a cat. That could be Carpenter. That's my guess. But either way, I'm excited by this. I look forward to this coming out. Did they put any kind of like February? Okay, that makes sense. The full expansion. All right. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I've got other things to be working on right now, and this kind of like came out of nowhere. Although I did suspect it might be today. But until next time, I will see you all later. Thank you.